All right, guys, and welcome back. Here we are at the Red Bull Stadium. You guys can see we are having a great time here, but we're going to have more fun matches after recap what just went down, what just happened here at Red Bull Stadium, why After Hours Gaming League, and why these two teams, EA and Amazon, going head-to-head. Well, the journey was the After Hours Gaming League second season, picking up League of Legends, teams like Ernst Young, I believe, right? Is that said correctly?
Close enough.
Yeah.
E and Y were the initials.
E&Y, we got it. And we have Microsoft, other teams in here, Epic, as well as a company, not Epic Gamer. Google was in there, Amazon, EA, as we just saw. Those teams going head-to-head in awesome matches. Amazon able to take two. They were able to grab the first one with EA coming back definitively in the second one. The first one was a 52-minute match. Went kind of long. Barons on both sides. The second match, EA kind of really just went down middle. Got a good Baron and took it to him strong. The third match, again, a little helter-skelter back and forth, but Amazon was able to pull it out in the end. Really awesome Baron steal by Mundo coming out, and the entire team just played well mechanically together as well.
Yeah, so Amazon coming through, taking that first place, the AHGL Season 2. AHGL, I don't know. Inside Hours Gaming? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, either way, After Hours Gaming League Season 2, the very first champion there is Amazon, winning a 2-1 actually in that grand final, so congratulations to them. But what is up next is going to be an epic match between the winners for the most part, Amazon.com, with one ringer actually. They grabbed the AD carry.
Biggle Buns?
Yep, they got that guy. And they're going to be fighting against Riot Games. We actually brought some Rioters down here to come hang out and play an exhibition match. And what I hear is they're going to be playing pretty try-hard. They're going to actually be going, they're going to be going for it.
We're like, hey, all right, so pirates, ninjas, yordles, something else. Like, no. They're like, no, we want to try hard. So we're like, all right, dudes, tournament draft, let's roll it through. They saw what Amazon could do, and they want to see if they can rebuttal that.
Yeah, well, it's going to be what they're going to go for. And actually, the team is pretty strong. It's we got Riot like Chaos, who actually is inverse named after the champion. So the champion, Garen, came out. His real name is Garen, and then he joined Riot, I think, in suit of trying to follow his hero there. You can see Amazon in there. Of course, some of them actually not going to be here, but they do have EA Biggle Buns. But it's still got Lord Zale, Core Space, Scow, and Wizard in there. And so the rest of the Riot team, we have like Chaos. We have Veigar the Horrible. He is the guy that Veigar, the champion, was named for. V-E-I-G-A-R. It is pronounced Veigar. I've heard many other pronunciations. But it is Icelandic and it is pronounced Veigar.
And funny story about that is he is actually quite tall. So at Riot, you know, we are always encouraged to submit champion ideas, champion abilities, and he did his. It was the early stages, so there weren't many people. So there, you know, most of them were not going through, but every one of them were being seen, and they're like, oh wow, Veigar put this one in. You know, it's this sorcerer, and Veigar's really tall, so they made Veigar really short. And Veigar, a powerful sorcerer. So there's a little, if you don't know the story of Veigar, he is actually a real person. It is Veigar, not Vigar or Vigar. But you can say it however you want because it is free to play.
It is free to play, so hop on in, sign up at LeagueOfLegends.com and play some League of Legends. It's a really awesome game. I recommend you play it. And I'm totally not biased at all in me telling you this whatsoever. But the rest of the lineup here for Riot Games, we have Marku coming in there, esports manager, coming on strong, proving himself the esports that he is, and no bias whatsoever. And the rest of that lineup, Sam the Ham, aka Riot Sam, knock technician, making sure the servers are up and running well. And he's going to be in there, and he is pretty much always going to play Ezreal, so I'm expecting that right now. And the fifth there is going to be Renoa, esports coordinator, jumping in there, being awesome in the esports department. And we'll see how they pan out here. So we can see the bans, actually, they have a little bit of predictions coming in here because they've banned out Warwick, which is like Chaos' #1 most common champion. So they're going to drop that one there. The Mundo aimed at Lord Zale. The Shen getting banned out as well. Amazon, though they played a good Shen against EA, they seem to not want to deal with him this game.
You know, this is kind of an upper hand for the Rioters. They're in secrecy here. You know, the games, there have been 3 games played by Amazon, and they know the champions that they want to play. And the Rioters are like, we're ghosts to you. You have no idea what we play. You have no idea what our champion pools consist of. But they actually banned out some pretty powerful champions. A lot of Warwick CC, Shen CC, Cassiopeia CC, and absolute just obliteration of poison damage. So they're going to be able to dodge at least that. Lee Sin has been taking out a few top junglers, and actually a good amount, 3 or 4 top junglers. So the picks now really They'll start off with a safe Kog'Maw. You're going to have range in that AD or possibly AP mid.
Well, they've got a lot of supports available here. None of the supports have been banned out here.
Yep.
Now, the loss of Morgana is a little bit of something there. I think it's nice to have a Morgana mid when you've got a Kog'Maw, just because you can kind of pin people down, ensure they'll take some damage and always sort of protect him with that black shield. But instead, they're going to grab their own Soraka. They're actually grabbing Ashe as the ranged carry pickup here. So we'll see how this pans out for them. Amazon going to come through with, I like this choice. If they go for Nunu Kog'Maw, that is a whole heck of a lot of damage there available from that lineup. Nunu, one of his signature abilities is one called Blood Boil. It grants himself and an ally heavily increased movement speed and attack speed. And Kog'Maw, being a ranged, auto-attack focused carry, really wants to just kind of churn out damage with his basic attacks. So the more attacks you give him, the more damage it's going to be. And he's going to start chewing through people. Kog'Maw, probably the highest damage champion among the ranged carries. And he's a little bit unsafe. He's kind of easy to kill if you can get to him, but he's very, very scary when you get there. A couple of the picks coming through here. I like the possible Mordekaiser or Vladimir choices here. A lot of good mage grabs. So when you go through with the Riot lineup, though, they've got Ashe and Soraka in there. Soraka, we don't need to introduce too much. We've seen her throughout the rest of this tournament so far. But Ashe we have not seen yet. Another ranged carry akin to Kog'Maw, ranged physical damage, wants to land basic attacks. But the big points that she has, though, is heavy crowd control. Has big stuns, a lot of big damage. But really is good at slowing and stunning and keeping the enemy champions from getting away or getting to you. And so you can combine that with some strong area of effect compositions or long-range poke compositions and make a lot of good things happen there.
And actually they've combined two of the things you just said, Kennen with long-range poke and that area of effect, as well as CC. You have Skarner ulti, Ashe arrow, and Kennen slicing Maelstrom.
Yeah.
And that's up to 3 people stunned by Kennen, a complete on-point stun from Marku on Skarner, and an AoE semi-stun / slow. The person getting hit is going to be stunned by the Ashe arrow, so there's a lot of CC there. But there's a huge amount of tank right now coming out of Amazon. Nautilus, a very big champion, very tanky champion, hard and really one to be reckoned with. So we're going to have to see him coming out of the jungle. A lot of presence there. That might be the switch up. Wizard back and forth. Usually your AP carry. It looks like Bigglebuns has chosen that, and they may just do a switch up here. I don't know. They're kind of back and forth.
They've got a pretty secured lineup at this point. They've got that jungle Nautilus coming through. They've got Nunu Kog'Maw at the bottom lane. They'll have some room to move because Vladimir can go mid or he can go top. For Wizard, most likely. He did play with that first game. Mordekaiser, I like this grab. They've got a very heavy, just beefy team. They've got the Mordekaiser Vladimir, double AP for ability power. They've got that double beefy mage lineup. We did see that Mordekaiser was banned out earlier in this tournament. They've got that double AP going through. They've got that Nunu Kog'Maw. They've got Nautilus, who's a very big, tanky, very disruptive jungle tank champion. He's going to be able to gank very, very well and enable kills. And he's going to be a big, beefy guy in the front line, kind of stopping people from kind of moving forward and advancing. Now on the Riot game side, you've got the Soraka Ashe bot lane. You've got Kennen at top. You've got the jungle Skarner. You might have a Nivea mid. Now, a Nivea versus Mordekaiser, I think, is a little bit of a scary lane to pick up here for Riot. I don't think it's going to go all that well for them. The good thing here for Amazon is they are not going to rely on mana. For pretty much any of their champions, they can let Nautilus wear that blue buff all day and all night and have no worries. It looks like Riot wants to go for a heavy crowd control focus here. As you said, the Ashe, the Skarner ultimate, and the slicing Maelstrom from Kennen. They've also got a Nivea here with all of her suite of abilities, a lot of damage, but a lot of crowd control and a lot of positioning.
And there's Tiny Vhagar, as we can see. Riot Sam on his left, and Garen. Riot like Chaos on the backside there. They're in Skype. Little cheaters, you're right next to each other. You don't need Skype. So we'll see what they can do. Now, I wanted to point out those picks they have in the middle, as you said, and Nivea is quite scary to go against Mordekaiser. And pre-6, she cannot push a lane as hard as he can. Not whatsoever. So she's going to be farming at the turret. That's a very hard thing for a Nivea to do. And that Cassiopeia ban is really the only thing that counters Mord really well in that pushing phase of mid, unless you're Morgana, also banned out. So for them to have, I believe, wasn't she? Maybe? Yeah. I think, yeah, Cav and Morg on the other team.
Yeah.
So to have Mordekaiser in that lane, constantly pushing, is going to allow him a lot of free farm roam, and Renoa is going to be left with just farming at the tower, stuck in her lane a lot of times, and I think she's going to be taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean, she can farm from safety and from range, so she shouldn't be getting harassed too heavily.
Not too many E's,
yeah,
staying out of range.
Too much harassment, but yeah, she's going to get forced to her turret, she's going to get pushed around. Sometimes when you're pushed that hard, you'll tend to tank minions to keep them off your turret for a little while and make that lane a little bit more manageable, and then she will take that damage. And the really big thing is going to be, can they control their golem buff? Can they give Anivia blue? Because she will need it very, very much so. If they're going to make it happen, they'll be fine, but they need that heavily.
And they will, and if they can counter, I believe it was Nautilus in the jungle. Fast fingers will click. Sam is just ruining games here. But if they can counter that Nautilus in the jungle, we're going to see that he gets very far behind very quickly. He's a slow champion, slow moving, but if he clears that jungle, he's actually quite a bit ahead. He's going to have the items he needs to be very, very tanky, almost like a new deer at level 3, level 4. Almost becomes invincible compared to what everybody else is scaling to at that level on the map. And that's one good thing to know as well, is when your champion is the strongest, when you're a deer and you're level 3 and 4, you can almost take pretty much every lane comfortably in a fight. You can stay in there, you can sustain and get out safely. So things like that, knowing the mechanics of your champion, will greatly improve your ability with them.
Yeah, and we're going to see if these late matchups are going to work well for which side. I assume it's Vladimir top, and then Mordekaiser in mid, and Anivia in mid with that Kennen at the top lane.
Top, yep.
Yeah, the game is up, by the way, if you want to get in there. Just press the play button. It's very, very easy, of course. And we're going to be underway as he is spectating. We are into the blind pick phase because, they've already got the picks and bans going through, so we are good to go into this game. If the players are ready to click start, go. And the game will be going on in the very, very near future. Riot Games versus Amazon with one ringer from EA. Vagabond's dodging that one real quick. Soon he will rejoin, and we will actually get the game going on. I think this is our 4th try, but it will happen.
4th try, 4th game. I'm Rivington. This is Freak from Riot Games, doing a little League of Legends commentary for you all year round. But right now, the After Hours Gaming League, a little bit of a sponsorship for Make-A-Wish Foundation and Child's Play.
Yep.
So we did see Child's Play grabbing a little bit there from Amazon.com's win. We did have the grand finals here for the After Hours Gaming League of Season 2, which introduced League of Legends this season. A lot of good companies, a lot of awesome companies, IBM, Google, Ernst Young. We also had EA and Amazon just heading off today, doing great jobs. Microsoft was even in it, and it's just great camaraderie. It's awesome to have all these companies come together, and it's awesome to see that they can also play games, not just create them.
Hey, and we can kick it over to the Champion Select screen. We do have the full rosters up in front of you here. Again, Lord Zale going to be jungling on Nautilus. Skyle's actually going to be the Vladimir here, so Wizard will be the one on Mordekaiser. He'll be going back to mid, taking that one over. We've got Core Space, who was a support before, was the Morgana one time, and then the Soraka the other, who's now on Nunu as a support. Vagabonds is taking over the role as AD carry, as Scow moved from his normal AD carry role to that solo top as Vladimir, so he's going to take that one over. Meanwhile, you see this sort of comp here. Sam is actually going to be that Kennen, the solo top mage there, and Veigar will be on Ashe as AD carry. Marku is that support on Soraka. Again, Soraka being contested every single time. Every game, all 4 today, we've seen Soraka in there. And Riot Lycaeus, the jungler, here on Skarner.
Yeah, a little background for these players. Lycaeus, an aggressive player. Renoa, very mechanical in her movements. Make sure that things are going to work before they happen. Sam the Ham, usually one to be yelled at after Riot run events because he usually just stomps on everybody in the company and they're like, Sam, you need to calm it down. So we may see a lot of aggression coming out of Sam. That's his play style, Reginald-esque, if you will. Marku is going to be on Soraka, usually playing Taric. So he's going to switch it up for this role, maybe to continue infusing Veigar for that volley, continuing to get the mana up. However, Taric and Ashe is quite a good lane. A lot of CC, a lot of takedown there, but we'll have to see what they can do with this. And Veigar, I don't really have too much about Veigar's playstyle. How is it? What do you usually see from him?
He's very, very